So I also agree that the 10 to 20% iron to iron kind of comparison is realistic. For so many things, when we have to remember commissioning costs and build that into the capital costs and all these other factors. But I am on with Jim here that we really are not looking at the right numbers there. And by the way, some of that promise of 10 to 20% is not totally realized in the market yet, maybe, but it's definitely going to happen. We think that there's opportunity to go beyond that. If you look at components that are built in data centers today, they're down their cost curve. But these modules are just starting. So we have a long way to go. So even if we're talking 10 to 20 now, there's still open road ahead of us on that issue. But I think the big issues are that we're not talking about here, and I don't think John really mentioned them, are this issue of uncertainty of growth plans, which Jim is pointing to. If I build a data center for $10 a watt, and I only use it to 10% capacity, per IT watt it costs me $100 a watt. That's a gigantic cost compared to these 10 or 20% numbers we're talking about. And it's the uncertainty of growth plans where the big advantages show up in real practical situations, in my view. We have many customers out there who are running data centers. You know, some data centers are at 80% capacity and some are at 10.
But aren't modular builds, aren't prefab builds just as susceptible to uncertainty as a traditional?
No, but you don't have to spend the money. If I never needed 10 megawatts, I only built one. I had a plan to build 10. Yeah. I built one, and then something changed, and I'm not going to build the rest of that 10 in this location. I'm going to build it in London or somewhere else. I don't have to spend the remaining money on that facility.
John's slide where he showed the cost curve of the incremental build, perfect slide. Data center CapEx is a step function. So the question about modularity is how small can I make the steps, right? And that's the holy grail. What clients want is they want a linear dial to say I want 1 kilowatt today, 2 tomorrow, 3, 4, 5. You know, I don't know how granular we're going to make that step function. It's not going to be a straight line ever.
But that's not where the big savings are. The deferral of capital cost isn't that big a deal right now in a lot of ways. The big issue that it's not shown on John's slides was he's got a growth plan showing there, and we're building up to it over time, and therefore we save money by deferring some of our investment. But the big pickup is what if that was never realized, that plan? What about the uncertainty in that growth plan? You should never draw a growth plan without putting an uncertainty band on it.
Well, this is the key. At the end of the day, we are seeing now, we are now in the process of, let's say, all this cloud buzz out there. And sometimes the physical infrastructure guys like us trying to forget that we're driven by the IT architecture of things. And this cloud architecture, which is coming, maybe is not growing as fast as the media may be making out noise there, but it's coming, definitely. And virtualization and so on. This is changing the game plan in terms of power density, cooling strategies, and so on. And as you may point out, I mean, what you may design today for 7 kilowatt per rack may be obsolete 3-4 years from now.
Well, we already know that we have HPC machines in the pipeline that are going to be maybe warm water cooled. You know, to have a deferral where I can install a module to handle that 5 years from now, rather than to build out a facility and suddenly have to rework it for that kind of installation, that's a big difference.